You may be asking, what is behind me? Well, it's Usher's Ferry Historic Village. And why am I here? Because we're gonna be touring the northeast side of Cedar Rapids. We're gonna tour some of the homes and the housing over here, because this is one of the higher end neighborhoods in the northeast side. And then we're gonna go to a more affordable neighborhood. And then I'm gonna cover everything you can think of after that about moving to the northeast side of Cedar Rapids, from shopping, schools, traffic, you name it, we're gonna cover it. And my name is Tony Lukin. My wife Anna is my business partner. We're licensed realtors here in the state of Iowa. And more importantly, we're licensed realtors that help people here in Cedar Rapids. So if you have any needs about moving, go ahead and call, text, or shoot us an email. We love helping you, whether it's in 10 days or 10 months, as we want to make the move to Iowa as smooth as possible for you. So I'll see you. I'm gonna hop in the car and we're gonna go and see some homes. All right, guys, we are about to see the highest dollar home sold in the last 180 days in this neighborhood. Limestone house, 4-car garage, just very large home, very nice home. But we're gonna kind of walk back. I got some road construction up here, but in the beginning of the video, we were at Usher's Ferry Historic Village there. It's kind of a historic museum that you can do guided tours. There's also Seminole Valley Park. If you go all the way to the river, which is south on the main road going through Usher's Ferry neighborhood. And they also have Xavier High School. It's a private school, but a lot of the people that live here take advantage of that school. So anyways, we're gonna hop back in the car. So behind me is the lowest price home, $315,000 sold for in the last 180 days. It's the yellow house behind me. And we're gonna continue walking down this neighborhood. What people love about this neighborhood is this is very quiet. It's just a very nice area too, with lots of trees. You got Seminole Valley Park to the south and the river. Just a beautiful area altogether. But guys, we are gonna go to a more affordable neighborhood where homes are selling around that 200 mark up to 250. So, all right guys, we're in the more affordable neighborhood now. Here on the northeast side. It's by the Kennedy High School. It's east of Edgewood Road and west of 380. Behind me, 4520. That home sold for $250,000. That's the highest price home sold in this neighborhood. We're gonna walk down further. I'm gonna probably hop in my car again. All right guys, we are in a different part of the Kennedy neighborhood, the more affordable neighborhood. And behind me is 2740 Townhouse Drive. And one of these condos, one of the top units here, sold for $186,000. That's the lowest in the last 180 days in this entire neighborhood. I did a video though on this neighborhood, fastest selling neighborhood in all of Cedar Rapids. It's gonna be linked above. You can see that video at any time. It really goes into depth about this entire neighborhood. But before we move on to different things that people think about when moving to Cedar Rapids, and we're gonna stay in the housing market, but we're gonna cover the entire Cedar Rapids area for the most part. And what I wanna tell you is the median home sale price is around $187,000 according to Zillow.com. This neighborhood is in that affordable range because the top one is $250,000, the low one's $186,000. So we're right in that sweet spot where people consider that affordable, and that's why a lot of people are moving to Cedar Rapids. The northeast side of Cedar Rapids can offer at $1.1 million. Right now, this neighborhood though has 0 active listings. That's because this neighborhood is just so sought after. You almost never see an active listing, it seems like, in this neighborhood. And when they do, they get scooped up fast. So now I want to move on from housing and go into traffic. The thing about Cedar Rapids is I've been to Texas and Minneapolis, Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth area, San Antonio, and the traffic is just horrible at certain times throughout the day. Here in Cedar Rapids, you don't have that same issue. There is road construction that can make, travel a little bit slower, but for the most part, you're just waiting on some, minor road construction or, stoplights. That's about it. You don't have traffic, anything like out there. or across the country of the bigger cities. You just don't have that in Cedar Rapids, so that's what's awesome. A few of the main roads you should know though is Interstate 380. It goes north and south through Cedar Rapids. It goes all the way up to Waterloo and South Iowa City. Then you also have Highway 30, which is south of Cedar Rapids, just south of Cedar Rapids. It intersects 380. That will take you west towards Des Moines and east towards like Mount Vernon in eastern Iowa. It's another interstate that is very popular to use. We also have Highway 100 that was recently put in and recently updated in the last, I'd say 5 years, 10 years. And it's just a great road to get you into the southwest Cedar Rapids all the way to Marion, Iowa. Just a great highway that really helps traffic. We just really don't have a lot of traffic. Here in northeast Iowa though, or northeast Cedar Rapids, we do have Blair's Ferry Road. That is probably the busiest road. But rather than that, we really don't have much traffic here in Cedar Rapids. It's just one of the things we absolutely love about living here. Now I want to talk about transportation. This one's gonna be short. Here in Cedar Rapids, I just covered the kind of the roadways and traffic. Well, transportation is really easy, so you don't see a whole lot of people using the public transportation, so it's not as intricate as the big cities. It is very nice though, and it's easy to use. It's very well set up. It's an awesome option to have, but for the most part, you can get from anywhere here, northeast Cedar Rapids into the Marion area, all the way to southwest in less than half an hour. And traffic's never bad, so most people have a car and use that option. Now let's talk about more generic, and that is weather. And this is the last thing we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you around a little bit more of northeast Cedar Rapids, do a little bit of vlogging in different areas, but I wanna talk about the weather. So you have cold and humidity. Those are the two big things that hold people back from Iowa in general. We're gonna start with the cold. It gets very cold here in Iowa with moderate amounts of snow during the winter. It can start as soon as November and go all the way through March. So it can be a long time here in Iowa of winter. It does get below zero. You don't have a lot of pipes freezing though. It does happen, but more in the rural areas. We've got that pretty well figured out, but leave in the comments though if you do have a sob story or a story that is negative when it comes to freezing pipes. I'd be interested to hear some of you also that are living here. I do hear of it, but it's not as frequent as you may think. Now on the flip side, in the summer, it gets very humid. In fact, today it's really nice out. It's just absolutely gorgeous, but here in less than a week, we're gonna have 95, 96 degree days again. And the humidity just makes that really awful here in Iowa at times. So those are two things to know. You get really cold, really hot and humid. Iowa's actually ranked consistently in the top 5, top 10 states of highest humidity. It's even been ranked #1 in certain years. So that's just something you need to know about Iowa in general, but definitely Cedar Rapids and northeast side of Cedar Rapids. All right guys, we're out here at Knoll Ridge Park. We'll cover some of the parks and things to do here in a second, but I wanna get back to weather real quick. I do wanna mention some of the positives. The spring and fall are absolutely gorgeous. Days like today in the summer are even gorgeous at times. It does get warmer like I mentioned, but it almost always cools down at night too. And I noticed it when I went to Texas down in San Antonio. In the summer, it never cools down there. So that's some positives, but I do want to get to things to do. We're going to start with some of the parks. We're here at Knoll Ridge Park right now. As you can see, there's a playground behind me. Just a lot of open area for dogs and stuff like that. Awesome place, has a pavilion over there and a pond. And then you also have a few other parks in the close vicinity. I did mention before, Seminole Valley Park's another park. You have 3 golf courses in the northeast side, Twin Pines Golf Course, Elm Crest Golf Course, and also St. Andrews Golf Course. All great options. There's more in the Cedar Rapids metro area as well. Those are just 3 just in the northeast side. And going back to parks for a second, we do have other parks in Cedar Rapids like Morgan Creek, Low Park in Marion, and other great parks, even Bever Park in the southeast side. Like I said, it doesn't take you very long to navigate Cedar Rapids, so it's not going to be an issue as far as parks. We're very well known to have 97 parks is what the internet tells me, and I do believe it. We have awesome parks here in Cedar Rapids, some bigger and some smaller. If you like to ride bike, then we also have the Cedar River Trail that goes all the way up to Waterloo, which is about 50 miles and south down to Iowa City. Just an amazing trail. for biking. They're actually in renovation of making a bridge, I heard, here in the downtown part of Cedar Rapids. They want to make Cedar Rapids more of like one of the best places in all the United States for bicycling. So that's in the future plans. But I want to talk about kids for a second. Rather than the parks, obviously, we also have awesome places for them to go, like the Fun Station in the northeast side. You have Air FX, which is a trampoline park. The Fun Station's more of like a playground, indoor playground. It's great for winter activities, birthday parties, and any kids' activities really in general. And then they also have Sky Zone, which is another trampoline park. Air FX though is just the best. It's so big. It's such a fun place for kids to go at any time of the year, especially in the winter. Now the northeast side is impossible in Cedar Rapids to beat for shopping. You have Fleet Farm, Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Sam's Club, you name it, you have it. You also have grocery stores like Hy-Vee, Aldi, Natural Grocer, New Pioneer if you like the healthier options. Just so many places to shop. You also have the Lindale Mall if you want any clothes shopping or just a mall experience of type of shopping. We also have a bunch of strip malls around, not just in the northeast side, but there's a lot in northeast side for stores like Michael's and Kohl's and different places like that. Even Halloween stores in Halloween time. It's just a great shopping area in northeast side. You can't beat it. Now I want to get into schools, and we already covered them a little bit in the beginning of the video, but I want to go a little bit more into detail. According to niche.com, you have Kennedy High School, which gets an A, according to niche.com. Great school. And you also have Linn-Mar, another A school. Both schools are just amazing. We also were in Seminole Valley and Ushers Ferry area, and you have the private school of Xavier in the northeast side. You also have other schools like Cedar Valley Christian School that may not be in the northeast side. You have Jefferson High School, Washington High School, College Community that are some more popular options outside of the northeast side. But those are the areas that you're gonna notice here in Cedar Rapids is the northeast side. You got Jefferson, Linn-Mar, and Xavier. I don't want to leave this out though. If you are a homeschooler or thinking about homeschooling, Iowa in general is a great state, but Linn-Mar is impossible to beat. It's one of the top, if not in the state, in the entire country when it comes to homeschooling. So that's an awesome school to do some homeschooling. I met a realtor that's at an open house, and she was a director for it for over 20 years. So if you want to know more about homeschooling, just reach out to us. The number's in the description. I'll leave it on the screen right now. I'd love to get in more contact with you and get you informed on homeschooling here in the Cedar Rapids and Iowa area. It is such a beautiful day. The last thing I want to cover before I go to another area, because I want to show you just one more area, some shopping. I want to talk about healthcare here in Cedar Rapids. So we have St. Luke's, and we also have Mercy Medical Center. They're both hospitals. They can do most things. If you need more intensive care, you can go south 30 miles down to Iowa City, but we also have urgent cares all over the place. So unless you have a really serious issue, you probably will be sent to the University of Iowa, but most things can be handled here in Cedar Rapids. Plenty of medical. It's very easy to navigate. All of it's on the southeast side, but it's real close to northeast side. So no matter where you're at, like I said many times throughout this video, it's easy to navigate Cedar Rapids. So it shouldn't be a problem getting somewhere in a short amount of time if for some reason you need that. But let's go ahead and jump over to one last part of Cedar Rapids that I want you to see, and we will finish the video over there. I want to come here on a busy Monday, weekday, show you what Blair's Ferry Road, which is right behind me. You'll see some traffic, so you can kind of check that out. But I came here on purpose at that time just to kind of show you one of the busier streets in all of Cedar Rapids, which is Blair's Ferry Road. Anyways, where I'm at right now is actually Natural Grocery. It's one of our favorite grocery stores in all of Cedar Rapids. The manager here, shout out to Greg if he's watching this, leave a comment, Greg, but the great manager here. On my left or to the east is gonna be Bob's. So we're gonna cover restaurants. Bob's Pizza has the best dessert pizza of anywhere I've ever been. On my right hand side or west is 30 Hop, and we're gonna kind of go down, but 30 Hop is an awesome bar, has great food, great service, just an upscale bar. You go down further, you have Moe's Southwest Grill. You're gonna have, not necessarily in this vicinity, but I guess further down Blair's Ferry towards the west, there is a Buffalo Wild Wings. Over towards Fleet Farm and Edgewood Road, there's Zeppelin's Bar and Grill. There's a couple Indian places, and there's also one right here called Delicacy. Very good. You also have Taste of India and Taj Mahal that are on the northeast side. So as you get it, we have tons and tons of eating options you'll just love about the northeast side of Cedar Rapids. The last thing I want to go over before we end this video, and that is crime. Cedar Rapids in general is a little bit above the state average in violent and property crimes. Property crimes is kind of an issue here in Cedar Rapids. The thing is, I've lived here my entire life. I never feel unsafe here in Cedar Rapids. It is a great community. You're gonna have crime everywhere. You move further outside of Cedar Rapids into a smaller town, the crime drops off. Not to say Cedar Rapids is even that dangerous. I mean, there is crime here. You go to the crime data maps, which I'm gonna lead you to. They're gonna tell you that crime's a little bit higher, but overall, Cedar Rapids is very safe. It's a great community. And the last thing I want to tell you is, if you want more information on this, first off, I'm with the Living in Iowa team. My name's Tony, and you can reach out to me anytime. My information will be on the screen right now. But I also did a video covering the pros and cons of Cedar Rapids. So please watch that video if you want more information. It covers a lot of these topics a little bit further than I did in this video. And obviously you can reach out at any time if you got more questions, guys.